Hi, I'm Courtney.
And I'm Bryce.
And this is our van. We've been living in it for about 2 months while we've been road tripping around the U.S.
It's a 1988 Dodge Ram B250 van with a camper conversion.
And we're going to show you around.
So this is the cab. We bought the van off Craigslist with about 60,000 miles on it. And we've been getting about 17 miles to the gallon, so that was a bit surprising. We're really excited with that. We've got working AC, newly restored power windows. The radio, however, is broken, but we just have a Bluetooth speaker. We've got this awesome wooden center console with storage for what we believe is 3 packs of cigarettes, but it also fits an iPhone perfectly. So in the center we built this wooden storage box primarily to function as extra storage or as a stool if we ever needed extra seating in the back, but we usually use it to just store things that we'll need while we're driving on the road. So we have some reference books or maps that we'll keep in here. A lot of times the top part will be filled with snacks if we've got a long day of driving. Some water bottles. We've got a bag of coins which we use for parking or to do laundry. And this really just becomes like the junk drawer in your house. It's a catch-all for, random things that we think we might need during the day. But probably the best thing about the cab is these awesome recliner chairs. They look like they came straight out of a living room in the 80s, and now they're in our van. Not the best back support on a large trip, but they look great and really give the cab the retro feel.
Welcome inside. The van was converted to be a camper in 1987, so when we bought it, it was full of dark brown and velvet curtains to match these seats, and it was pretty outdated and we didn't love it, so we redid everything ourselves. Alright, so as soon as you walk in the door, we have this pouch behind the passenger seat, and we keep little things in here like a tiny broom that we use to sweep the floors, and we'll have our sunscreen in here and some reusable grocery bags and a lock in case we need to lock anything when we go on a hike or something like that. So behind the driver's seat we keep our cast iron skillet just wedged here so it doesn't really move anywhere, and we have this cooler just in case we need to keep anything cold. We don't really use it that often though because we eat a plant-based diet and don't really have much we need to refrigerate. And then on top of it we just keep our reusable grocery bags. And under both seats we keep our shoes. I keep mine under this seat and Bryce keeps his under this seat, and it just seems like a really good use of that space, and they're hidden and out of sight and convenient to get to when we need them. So above the cab here we have these cabinets that were part of the original conversion, and above the passenger seat we have our raincoats and an extra blanket and hats. And in the middle here we have our toiletries, mine and Bryce's. And above the driver's seat we have a road atlas and a repair manual that we've had to reference quite a few times already, and a maintenance log. So this is our kitchen. We have a sink and a pump faucet, and under this side we have storage for 5 gallons of clean water and 5 gallons of gray water. And on this side is our pantry. We keep all of our dishes and cooking utensils and pots and pans in here. We have cutting boards under that and rags and soap. And then on the bottom is where we keep all of our spices in here, and cans and sauces and oils and peanut butter and all that kind of stuff. So the pantry continues in this drawer under this side of the bed, And we keep a lot of our dried goods and produce in here. We have apples and onions and potatoes and oatmeal and rice and noodles and stuff over there. And in this drawer, we have all of our clothes. Mine are back here and Bryce's are up here, and I keep all of mine in these packing cubes, which makes it really easy to keep everything separate so I can find everything really easily. And Bryce's are just rolled to make it all fit. And this is our bed. We got an 8-inch memory foam full-size mattress off Amazon, and it's very comfortable. We're very happy with it. And we built it at this height so that we could both sit up comfortably while on the bed, and so that it was level with the windows so we could see out. So because we only have a full-size mattress, we had space on either side to build these side tables. And the best part about them is that we have 3 little cubby holes that you can lift up. And inside we keep small things like books and journals and pens and electronics and really anything small that you don't know what else to do with. They fit perfectly in our nightstands. So one of my big projects while we were working on the van build was to make curtains for all of the windows so that at night you can close them all up, and then in the front we also have a shower curtain rod and bigger curtains so that you can close off the cab as well.
So in the back and underneath our bed is where a lot of our storage is. We usually keep our hiking boots back here for easy access. And then behind the hiking boots, we have a drawer on either side. Just a plastic container with rolling wheels. So on the right-hand side is our outdoor kitchen. Our Coleman stove, our lighters, our propane, and then we also have winter clothes in here in case it's cooler out and we need something warmer. So a lot of van builds have a full working kitchen inside of their van, but when we were designing our build, we really wanted to keep things simple and keep things portable. Our goal when we were going on this trip in our van was to be able to be outside and experience the outdoors more. So by having a portable camping stove, it sort of forces us out of the van, and we've had 95% of our meals out in the open air, cooking in front of the sunset for dinner, and it's something that has worked really well for us. So on the left-hand side, we just have sort of miscellaneous camping gear. We've got our hammock, we've got a clothesline, we have detergent for washing clothes, we have string lights if we want to make the campsite a little more homey, we have our camelbacks if we're planning on going on a longer hike, and we also keep our first aid kit in here because it's easy to access if we need it. So on either side of these drawers, we keep items that we really hope we don't need to access very often, but we're glad we have them in case of an emergency. On the passenger side, behind the wheel well, I keep a small toolbox in case I need to do any small repairs. We have jumper cables, we have our jack, and we have our lug nut wrench. Then on the passenger side, I keep any fluids in case the van is leaking some fluids and needs to be changed. I've got brake fluid, coolant, engine oil, and transmission fluid. And then we also have a tire patch kit and a small compressor in case we have a flat. So we also decided to install solar to power the back half of the van, mostly so that we could run lights or power our electronic devices without needing to draw power off the car battery. So we've got 200 watts of solar on the roof. It's 200 watt panels in parallel. They run through a 20 amp charge controller and a 100 amp hour battery. We typically just run small loads off the solar, charging our electronic devices. We also have a small roof fan which can ventilate the roof. And LED lights in the ceiling on the dimmer. We've got a direct USB charger that comes directly off the solar battery, which we use to power our phones, our Kindle, to charge the Bluetooth speaker. So our solar battery box is hidden in one of my cubbies on our end table. And in here we have our inverter, which we use to power our laptops or my electric shaver. We have a 100 amp hour battery, and then we have our fuse boxes and a fuse from the solar panels to the charge controller.
So that's our van. It's really simple, but it's perfect for us. Let us know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.